Hi, today I want to talk a little about government guidance. In particular, I want to refer to the roadmap. I want to refer to transport, in particular public transport, and I want to refer to furlough leave and its extension to October. All of these things and how they impact on small to medium-sized businesses and charities. Now, first of all, I want to address the roadmap. It's 60 pages long, could have been a lot less, and it could have been a lot more focused than it is. But a couple of things to take away from that. Some of it is the same old, same old. If you can work from home, work from home. If you can't work from home, go to work. If you go to work in industries that haven't been closed down or are no longer going to be closed down, then that's fine. And the industries that are exempt from that have to remain closed down are the hospitality and entertainment industries. So basically what we had before, if you're white collar and you can work from home using information technology, then that's fine. But then we've been doing that anyway. As best as we can, we've been doing that. The white collar workers, those that can work from home, have been working from home. Much less impacted than the blue collar workers. Now, a lot of small to medium sized enterprises and charities rely on people going to a workplace, the manual areas of employment, those areas where there's actual physical contact with our customers or our clients, the people that rely on us in various forms of social and care industries. So we need to be thinking now about them, because now if those people are coming back to work as of today, as has been encouraged to be the case, then how are we going to make sure that their health, safety and well-being is protected? Now, I've discussed this many times before. The guidance from the government is yet unclear. And so I'm saying to smaller employers, we have to think for ourselves, and we have to think first and foremost health and safety. So when people are coming back into work, how do we ensure that the social distancing is in place and enforceable? How do we make sure that people are keeping their work areas absolutely as free as possible from the infection, sanitizing their area of work, for example? How do we make it that people are looking after themselves and each other, and how do we make sure that we as employers are making sure that that's the case? And the way that I try and think of it is that if we're looking at health, safety and well-being, think of all aspects of COVID-19 health and safety measures as being like wearing a hard hat on a building site. They are that important. Think if someone is on a building site and they're not wearing the hard hat, you would send them home immediately, possibly even discipline them. So this is the kind of measures that we have to be looking at. Think health and safety, paramount importance at all times. Now we've got to look at public transport. How do we get people to and from work? I mentioned in my last video that this had not been logistically thought through. It's as if the government thought that people used public transport to get to and from work because it was just a nice option. Well, in my experience, and I've been a bus driver in my time, and I've driven crowded buses, people do not get on public transport just for the social value of it. When people are going to and from work and using public transport, where they go and stand at a bus stop in the rain and wait for the bus to come and it's crowded and they've got to stand up, do they think that that is because people enjoy doing that? And that if they could walk to work, if they could cycle to work, if they had a car to go to work, they wouldn't choose those as the alternative forms of transport? And I'm sorry for the cynicism and anger that may be coming out in the way that I'm thinking about this and the way that I'm discussing this. But I am massively annoyed at the way that this government has distanced itself from all responsibility in this area, and the way they've made it that it's down to good old British common sense. But if you need to go to work and you need to travel on public transport, and that bus comes and it picks you up at that bus stop and you get on that bus and there's more than 10 people on that bus, are you going to say, no, I'll wait for the next, I'll get in late? You're not. You're going to get on that bus. And the people that are going to be put at risk are the people that are going to be the blue collar workers, the lower paid workers that need to get on those buses, on those tube trains, on those trams and trains to get them to work. They're not going to be the people that have the cars. And if they do have the cars and they go to work, what about parking? What about people working in a city like Manchester or Newcastle or Birmingham, and they go to work in their cars and then they spend a fortune on parking that car up? It doesn't make sense. This has not been logistically thought through in terms of getting people to and from work. And as employers, as smaller employers, you need to start thinking about, if you are going to be open for business and if you are going to get people to come to work, then how can you make it that those starting and finishing times are staggered so that they don't have to get to work in the high density peak periods? How do you make it so that if they are coming to work in their cars, that you are going to be able to ensure that they can park up safely and securely? And how do you make it that when they get to work, they are safe? Because if they're traveling on public transport that has a lot of people on, and they're not wearing masks, and the other people on the bus are not wearing masks, and all these things are happening, then this virus is communicatable. And it will be communicatable to the people that they come into contact in their workplace. So let's start thinking health and safety and getting people to and from work safely. I want to talk briefly now about the furlough and the extension. Brilliant news. As far as I'm concerned, brilliant news that the government is going to continue to subsidise wages and salaries until October. And it's going to remain that people will be paid at 80%. However, questions are now raised that are yet to be answered, because from August we're going to be looking at people being able to come back to work part-time, of new flexibility to the system, which again I would welcome that, people coming back, but it takes planning on the employer's part. And so again, I'm talking to you as small to medium-sized employers. You have to start planning for that, and we've got a little bit of time to do so. So start planning now, that if you can bring people back to work part-time and be furloughed at the same time for half the week, then do so. Start planning how you're going to do that. But there are other aspects of that, like what about if they can't come back to work? What if they can't come back part-time? What if you can't get them back part-time? What if you can't offer that part-time? The government has started to talk about the employers subsidising that. Now, I sympathise with all employers on this, because large or small, this will be a massive cost. If people are not working and the revenues are not being obtained, then where does the money come from this? And for the smaller to medium-sized employer, then through this past few months, the suffering in terms of reduced, if not totally eliminated trade in our businesses, because of those kinds of things, our reserves are going to be zilch to middling. So how are we going to be able to subsidise those wages? So there are questions to be answered, and of course I will update as best I can as those answers start being forthcoming. So meanwhile, let's continue with our new watchwords of health, safety and well-being being our priorities. Let's make sure that should we be returning to work on a partial or full basis, that we are looking after the health, safety and well-being of our employees, making sure that the working environment is as safe as it possibly can be, making sure that the getting to and from work is as safe as it possibly can be, and where we can help, we do help, because the impact of people coming to work in an unsafe environment is that the work environment becomes less safe. Now, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please make comments because all comments will be answered. Please get in touch, and any help that is required, any questions that you have on anything to do with the coronavirus situation, I will answer at no cost to yourself. And please, if you want more guidance on ethical human resource management, please purchase my book, Human Resource Management Made Easy. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.